Happy Friday, everyone. Hope that you're having a great day and are excited for the weekend. Have some fun plans. I'm super excited to be home. Woohoo! Although I am prepping for another trip. On Wednesday, I'm going to Dublin for my last of my U2 Joshua Tree tour shows. So it'll be very sad when it's over, but there's always more music, right? Anyway, wanted to talk to you guys today about John C. Maxwell's seventh law, and that is the law of the ladder. And so to answer Ben/Andy's question this morning, what am I using in terms of the ladder, in terms of what's the metaphor for the ladder in this? And so what John says is character growth determines the height of your personal growth. So you don't climb to the level of your ability, you climb to the level of your character. And so what he says is that reputation is who people think you are, and character is who you really are on the inside. And so if you become better and stronger on the inside, the bigger your outside stuff will become. So the more you'll be able to become, the better leader you'll be able to become, the more successful you'll be able to become. And so he says if you're developing a reputation but not character, it's only a matter of time before you fall. And if you're bigger on the inside, you'll become bigger on the outside automatically, basically through time. He says just the way things go. Now, Abraham Lincoln said, reputation is the shadow and character is the tree, which I think is an awesome analogy. And so John says you really have to develop on developing that character in order to be fully successful. He said that even if you have strong abilities, you basically have to, if you don't have the character to support those abilities, you won't get to where you need to go or want to go. And so he said what influences, my outside influences what happens on the outside. And what I do on the outside is a result of who I am on the inside. So you can't give what you don't have. So if you don't have it on the inside, you can't give it on the outside, which means that you won't achieve that success and you won't grow to the person you need to be. And he said, if I am trustworthy, I will see trustworthiness in others, and I will judge you based on who I am. So one cool story he was telling us when we were in, where was I? Denver, that he was teaching a seminar to the Guatemalan government down there about teaching character values and some of these lessons. And he met the Attorney General, and he said that she was such a strong, courageous, delightful lady, and that they were having a discussion about values. And she said that when she joined the government, in her position as Attorney General, she was looking across the government and saw how much corruption there was. And she said, I had to do something about the corruption in the politics. And so she prosecuted politicians. And in 2 years' time, she put away 300 politicians and is now teaching those values within the government. And the government is so much better off because of all that work and her focus on character. And so, she's decided that she needs to do even more. So that's really awesome. So even though she did so much and put away those 300 people, she decided, you know what, we've created this culture, people can't come try to fight it. She's like, I've got to keep going with it and move it even further. So it's really cool. So basically, John also says that in terms of character, we can only control what's inside of us. So when we're interacting with other people, we can't control what they're going to do. We can't control what they're going to say. And so in any given scenario, even if it's something negative, etc., if you react in a way that is full of character and, demonstrate maturity, responsibility, trustworthiness, and all these great things that I know I value, that despite, what's going on, you will always come out ahead. Maybe not in the short term, but always in the long term. And I know that, there are certain examples, there are a few in my mind that when you hear character and success, and that's always a one-for-one, there's certainly somebody in my brain right now that's a pretty obvious one that I don't think has character that is seen as successful, right? Quote unquote, on the outside. But what I would say is that they're actually not successful because they don't have the things that I consider success, right? It's not all about money, right? At least I hope not. It's about your family, it's about your friends, it's about your loved ones, it's about your experiences. And so for me, that's the definition of success. It's, am I able to spend time with the people I want to spend time with? Am I able to give to them and hopefully enrich their lives as they enrich mine? And am I able to do cool things with them? And so that's kind of how I try to live my life. And that, to me, is my definition of success. So even those people that you might say, oh, by outside measures, oh, they're considered quote unquote successful. But if you dig deep into their life and even maybe not even have to look so deep, I think you see flaws in calling them successful, right? So let me see if there's any other things I wanted to tell you guys. Oh, there was one really great principle that I thought was really awesome that he conveyed to us. And he talked about when you're growing, you have to walk between two lines. And he says, your line of success is on the left. And when you're on that line, you hope that everybody is seeing what you're doing. Like when you're in the zone and you're performing well, you're like, oh, please, everybody, look at me. I'm doing so awesome. And then over here on the right, you have the line of failure. And when you're walking the line of failure, you don't want anybody to see you, right? Because you're like, oh my God, I'm totally not doing well. This is super embarrassing. I'm ashamed. You're feeling less than. But at the same time, he says, when you're on the line of failure, you don't look as bad as you think you look. And he said, and when you're on the success line, he said, you don't look as good as you think you do. So he said that, you're always in the middle, and who you are is always in the middle of those two lines. And I just love that analogy because I know when I'm failing, I don't want anybody to see me, right? You're like, can I just go hide in a closet somewhere? But when I'm succeeding, for sure, I'm like, did you see I did all these awesome things? And I'm hoping that people are watching, right? So he said that, success is having people who know you the best, love and respect you the most, able to see who you really are. And he said, something is wrong if people who love and respect me most are those that don't know me. And he said that people have to hear about your failures. And this is, he says, in all contexts. He said, if you're at, all the new people at work or all the new people that are new in your life or whatever context it may be, if you're trying to grow and help them enrich and help them learn, you have to tell them about your failures. You have to tell them about how you were at the beginning and say, hey, listen, when I started this job, I was really terrible. I did X, Y, and Z. Can you believe it? And here I am today. He said that if people don't see the path from A when you start to B when you end and are successful, they're going to give up in the middle because they're going to think, I don't have what it takes. And really what it takes is, for a lot of times, like obviously there are certain professions like, NBA player or something like that where you have to have a lot of practice when you're really, really young to get very good. And even then it's just super hard. But for most things in life, if you practice more and you learn more, you can achieve and learn and do and be. So he said, if, the people don't see those failures in between that point A and B, they'll just quit. They'll go do something else. They'll go somewhere else because there's only so long that somebody can stay in that failure zone and not see that other people had to go through it as well. So I just love that. And he said that, character allows you to be honest with yourself and others and do that without fear of, reprisal and being vulnerable with people. I don't know if you guys have found that, but I know when I did that Facebook Live, a couple months ago at this point, that was about my accident. Like, honest to God, I honestly just put it out there just so that people could hear it. I really was not expecting the reaction. And because I was vulnerable in the video, I was just so touched at the reaction from everybody. And I think that whenever you're vulnerable with people and honest and share who you really, really are, people respond to that. At least I hope they do. I know I do. So to closing, what John says is it's not how high you jump, it's how straight you fall when you come down. And he said that character is your anchor. And he says if you're strong on the inside, you'll be strong on the outside. So I'm hoping for all kinds of great growth for you all and strength on the inside and on the outside. And I'm going to be coming to you guys tomorrow with the law of trade-offs. Dun, dun, dun. And that for me, I know is my hardest law. That the area that I need to grow the most in is the law of trade-offs. And I think tomorrow you'll understand why, because it's the hardest one. At least for me. I don't know if you guys have other ones that are hard for you guys since I've been going through these, but the law of trade-offs, it's a rough one. So I'm going to be making some trade-offs here coming up, and I think they're going to be a little painful, but needed to get to where I want to go. So I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow.